Do you find yourself constantly busy? Are you under pressure to have a great social life, to be active, to look after family, to be busy all the time, to work hard? And do you find that there's actually no time for yourself? Have you even stopped to think about whether you have any time for yourself, or whether you're constantly under demand from other people, busy doing things and running from one thing to the other? It might just be time to explore the power of solitude. Spend some time by yourself, focusing on your immediate environment and what you're doing in the here and now. If you think about it, we're constantly bombarded by images from other countries that we've never visited and probably never will visit. Images of friends, social lives, people we don't know, their social lives, and maybe friends from our past, people that we used to be acquainted with, but no longer see or associate with. This can all be really draining and distract us from our own lives. Do you find yourself spending more time scrolling and observing what other people are doing than actually investing in your own interests, investing in your health, in your family, in your interests, in your hobbies? If you think about it, it's only in recent times that we could even keep track of global events, for example, because it's only with television that we can see what's going on in the world. And in recent times, we can switch on the television at any point, or just switch on a mobile phone or any device and look at the world news, which is something which has only come about in recent years. But is it possible to keep track of world events and other people's social lives and also maintain our own? Or are we using up our precious time to keep track of things which aren't really that relevant to our own life? How healthy is it to be constantly monitoring other people's lives or monitoring what's going on in the world, I wonder? It can distract from the most important things in our life, our family, our health, our nutrition, staying active and keeping in contact with our friends in our immediate environment, rather than tracking people that we no longer see. If you're constantly surrounded by people and surrounded by noise, the idea of spending some time in solitude might seem strange or unusual, but there are many benefits to spending some time alone. It can help us to get in touch with our own energy. So if we're constantly surrounded by people, we can forget what belongs to us and what is actually imposed on us from outside. So particularly for people who are highly sensitive, who identify as an HSP, empaths, intuitives, we absorb so much energy and so much information from other people in different forms that it can be easy to forget who we are. So spending some time alone helps us to tune into who we are and remember what we're interested in, what we love, what our purpose is, and what we want to do with our time. Because time is the one thing that we need to be careful to choose wisely with, because it's limited. We know there's a beginning to life and there's an end to life. Our time is limited, but one thing is certain, we'll not be here forever. So if you can imagine spending some time in solitude, what do you imagine yourself doing? Could you just sit in silence? Would you go for a walk or do some other form of exercise? Would you write a journal maybe, or do some writing? Is there a piece of writing you've been longing to do for a long time, which you've not got around to? I wonder what would happen if you could just carve out some time just for yourself. Either, just an hour or half a day, or maybe you need a longer period. Some people go on pilgrimages for several weeks. Obviously, depending on your life circumstances, it may or may not be possible to do this. And even getting half an hour alone might be a challenge. But it's something to think about. And if you can't take a long period of time, maybe you could carve out half an hour every other day or a couple of hours a week just to spend some time by yourself. Tune into who you are, tune into your purpose. Spend some time just being rather than doing. Also think about your boundaries. If you were to plan some time alone, realistically, would you be left alone or would you expect to be distracted? Who is it that's going to distract you? Can you set some expectations around that and make it clear that you are spending some time alone? It's actually going to benefit not just you, but the people around you as well, because you can recharge. Particularly introverts need time alone in order to recharge their energy, whereas extroverts tend to draw energy from being around people. So again, depends a bit on your natural tendencies as to how useful you're going to find this and what the purpose of it might be. Also, where would you go? Are you going to be able to go somewhere where you can't be contacted at all? Or do you need to be contactable because you have family commitments, for example? Even as you're planning this, you'll get some insights into who you are, and maybe you have a tendency to be very accommodating and to make yourself available to other people and not allow time for yourself to recharge. So the very act of thinking about this and planning it can reveal a lot about your nature and about some of the challenges that you might face. And that in itself could get you thinking about whether that's a choice or whether this is something that you've become accustomed to or is an expectation on you. So just some thoughts around solitude. It's not something that always occurs to us to spend time alone because our lives tend to get very busy. But have a think, see if you can carve out some time. If you have a practice of solitude, of spending time alone, I'd be really interested to hear how you find that, what the benefits are, and maybe some of the viewers would benefit from hearing that too.